have taught me to say, it is well with my soul.
Welcome to ABL Television. My name is Nana Osajifo. You are listening to In Conversation with Nana Osajifo. This is where we look at issues pertaining the global world indeed. We'll look at the international news. We'll also dribble our way all the way to other parts of the world. Today we'll be looking at the World Economic Forum. Interesting stuff coming from that one. And then we'll be digressing to Mother Africa with our Pan-African diaspora news. Indeed, we'll be looking at the latest events taking place from that part of the world as well. This is the only station that serves the community to the maximum. You can actually watch us on Abltv, which is Abltv247.com. You can also watch us on our social media handles. Make sure you tell a friend and a colleague to partake in this wonderful conversation. Our social media handles, please share, like, and subscribe. Before I actually go on the various issues pertaining to the global world, let me welcome my learned colleague in the person of Ademu, who way back, a veteran journalist who I admire so much. Ademu, welcome to the great show, In Conversation with Nana Osajifo. We started this thing way back, Ademu.
Thank you very much once again, Nana Osajifo Kuntunkunuku Utakina Onembe say pain and when were those days in Radio Africa, the #1 diaspora radio station in the United Kingdom, which was beaming across the countries in all Africa. Nana Osajifo, you've done very well, and you've brought up another wonderful project, that is the ABL Television and the Associate Press. You are doing very well. Yeah. And to say more, the program is inciting, educative, and also entertaining. So this will go a long way to help rebuild countries in Africa. Well done to you and your supporting staff.
Yes. Okay, great. As we try to look at events taking place around the globe, the international world, and of course, we focus on Africa and the motherland Ghana as well. Let me just quickly look at some of the interesting headlines making waves. We know there is a ceasefire in Gaza, and if that ceasefire will really hold, at the moment it's holding a bit, but the Gazans ready tent camps for families returning to North after ceasefire. That's an interesting one. Let me just look at the other interesting bulletins that we have here. We have United States of America. I'm on international news headlines. Yes, United States of America, a judge temporarily blocks Trump's order restricting birthright citizenship. That's a very interesting one, where Donald Trump wanted to bring some restrictions, but a judge has blocked that. So that's an interesting one. And then we have from the United Kingdom, we have UK teenager jailed for minimum of 52 years for harrowing Southport girls' murders. Wow, that's an interesting one coming from the UK. And then we have Trump says is ready. United States President Donald Trump says he's ready to meet Putin immediately to secure end of Ukraine war. Yes, so we can see President Trump meaning business, trying to bring all wars to an end. And let's see what transpires. And then we have an exclusive. Bangladesh's high growth under ousted Prime Minister Hasina was fake, interim head Yunus has said. So when we look at the whole international and the global world, interesting stuff coming from that angle. We'll be looking at the Economic World Forum conference and the digital virtual speech by Donald Trump, where he made mention of his presidency. He's going to make sure there's only going to be two genders, male and female. No room for any LGBTQ plus. That is an interesting pronouncement Donald Trump is making there. So let me quickly take one or two from Africa. From Boko Haram militants kill least 20 people in Nigeria's Borno state. So we know about the Nigerian with the Boko Haram. Up till now, Nigeria, one of the biggest countries in Africa with a population over 200 million plus, rich nation, top oil producer, and seems cannot handle the Boko Haram. This is strange. Looking down and scrolling down, let's look at issues from the Middle East. Okay, the United Nations says 653 air trucks entered Gaza. That was yesterday. So the ceasefire seems to be holding. Yes, let me look at the United States once again. Donald Trump says he's not sure U.S. should be spending anything on NATO. You could see President Trump is bringing some serious policies into his regime. Are the Europeans surprised? That's an interesting one. Then Italy's top court upholds Amanda Knox slander conviction. We know about the Amanda Knox issue that is to do with what we call slander and libel case, defamation. And so that is another case that the Italians are looking at. And then Europe, the EU switches defense summit venue for security reasons. Interesting indeed. And so these are one or two issues that has taken place. And I'm going to also get my reporters from Ghana, Africa, that's the Pan-African world, to be updating us as myself and my veteran broadcaster, Awudu Ademu, look at some of the latest issues that I've been talking about. So, Ademu, interesting. I don't really want to go into the Gaza thing because that's an interesting area and a very sensitive area. Let's go straight and look at another statement that has come. Okay, let's stay with the U.S. New wildfire near Los Angeles explode to 9,400 acres, forces evacuation. This fire outbreak in the U.S. and it's caused some concern. And I know some of the rich celebrities, like Rick Ross and all those people, are all affected. Beyonce, Jay-Z, all of them have been affected. The scale of this fire is just amazing. And the U.S. even ran out of extinguishers to deal with the fire, but they are doing their best. That's a serious, and we send our respects and should I say empathy to this fire outbreaks and the victims of this fire. Audademo, what do you make out of this?
Yes, this situation is quite unfortunate, and it has caught the United States caught them off guard. A developed nation like United States should have been able to prepare enough for such an eventualities and catastrophe. And because there were some skirmishes and unplanned and cutting off budget of the state, it affected the maintenance and upkeeping of fire hydrants and also certain measures that were supposed to have been put in place in terms of these natural disasters. So
Yeah.
It is a lesson for all the developed nations, including the developing nations, that
Mm.
the global warming is real, and we have to work towards how to prevent some of these natural disasters. We
Mm.
cannot prevent it, but to also try and find a way when they happen, we should be able to combat it, or we should fight against
Yeah.
some of these things. But the
Okay.
United
Mm.
States, the fire outbreak is quite amazing because it started not from one place, from all corners.
Yeah.
And it is something that we need to, or the state should
Mm.
work hard
Mm.
to find a way of curbing it. And then next
Yeah.
time when things like that happen, they should be able to. But notwithstanding, they should have employed the services of countries like China and Russia. I think they could have also helped. They could have intervened because China has got the technology. They would have tried as much as possible to have to assist them with extinguishers and even
But do you think,
use the
do you foresee the US, one of the biggest superpowers, and the, how do I put it, the image they've created and the brand of the US, do you think they will really, really invite China or Russia, one of the developed countries with super,
Nana,
technology? Yeah,
Nana. Now, when it comes to technology, there is no country matching the Chinese now.
right.
US is indebted to China to the neck. Their
Mm,
bridges, their roads, and most of the infrastructure
mm,
are being maintained and serviced by China. They owe China a lot of money.
mm,
The US owes China a lot of money. And
mm.
when it comes to things like this, it is a collective responsibility of all citizens of the world to
Yes,
ensure that when one of the citizens is suffering, we all support and help. US is now living on the past glory. They were not the United States of America we know in 16 or 1866 when the amendment bill was passed. So they should forget about the image they've created for themselves and try and start joining alliances, non-traditional alliances with countries like China and Russia, and talk their way with countries like Iran and North Korea. We want peace. We want to have a stabilized world where all man will enjoy the world freely without any problems. You see,
yes.
they've
That
created a
is
lot
what
of problems for
I
us.
think that is what I'm not cutting you, but just interjecting. That is what the world needs, and I'm sure that is also not the reality of the world. But moving on, uh, today there was a very interesting live digital and virtual appearance of the U.S. president, and he made an appearance at the World Economic Forum, and he said some few things about Europe to up their spending with NATO. He also said uh, his presidency is going to bring a policy where the gender issue plaguing the world will be just a male and female when it comes to the US. So in a way, he's challenging the LGBTQ plus community. He also made mention of uh, making sure the AI industry, the US is going to take it by storm. But I want us to look at one other statement where a judge has blocked what Trump intends to do in terms of birth by citizenship in the US. What's your brief take on that?
Nana, Trump, that executive order he signed is like putting a pen to a paper to write anything. It doesn't hold in any judicial court in the United States of America because it has been entrenched in the 14th in the Constitution. It is the 14th Amendment. It was passed in 1866, and 2 years later, it was reviewed, and it gives everybody born in the United States that right to become an automatic citizen, including the enslaved uh, slaves in the United States. So you see, Trump has just sung a song for his followers who voted for him, that they believe he can come as a messiah to take the right of the migrants who were born or who are going to be born in the United States of America. So it's just an executive order, which is a dormant. It's going to be a white elephant. It will never hold in the United States unless the Senate or they decide to take the 14th Amendment from the Constitution, which of course Donald Trump has no right. His powers doesn't give him that right to do it. So he has just signed an executive order just to make his people, those who voted for him, happy. It's not going to happen.
Okay, let's look at the relationship between the U.S. and the Chinese. And Trump again is attacking the Chinese special trade status they have, import duty exemption, and all that. And do you think that can hold the way China is growing so fast?
Do you remember when Barack Obama came, the economic crisis, that the meltdown, economic meltdown? China gave United States of America 30 billion US dollars. And China is far advanced that the trade agreement between China and United States, when United States tried to pull the rug under the feet of China, it is the United States of America that is going to suffer, because the Chinese were so clever and thought forth that they will have somebody like Donald Trump who is nationalist, who would want to do that. So their trading agreements are not only with the Chinese, with the United States. They've taken Africa by storm with their fair and balanced trade agreements. They've taken the European Union. They've taken those that are non-traditional alliances of the United States of America, just like Iran, Russia, Pakistan. So you see, they are taking hold of everything. So what do they need the United States for?
Okay.
They need the United States to take their monies off the United States. And they can threaten the United States that if you try to take out the trade agreement, this is what we're going to do. You have to pay us our bill. You have to pay your bill. And definitely they need to take their bill. So China now can decide internally, decide to trade among itself, and it will survive. It will be okay. What about United States now? Everything now in United States of America is being prepared or done in China. Are they going to be able to say that now and tomorrow we are going to stop Chinese product coming to United States? The people will go on the street. There will be a rampage in United States of America if they dare do that. So Trump is just, again, singing the song of praises to his people, those who voted for him.
Okay, that's an interesting take on there. Let's look at another interesting issue. Let me turn my attention to this economic forum thing there once again, because that's where the most powerful corporations and meet up with the most powerful world leaders. In this particular day 4 meeting, let me just cut short and welcome my learned reporter all the way from Ghana, Godfrey. Good welcome. Good welcome. That is the way I'm creating and coining a new grammar. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mala.
Yeah, but can you hear me very clear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I have Ademu, who is lives outside London. That is Leicester, which is part of England in the United Kingdom, and we've been digressing from the international scenes. But since you've joined us, we'll just be looking brief issues pertaining Mother Africa and then Ghana. So I'll give you the floor to just take into report on the latest issues and what is happening over there. Godfrey.
Okay, thank you, Nana. And my greetings to Ghanaians living in UK who are also listening to us right now and watching us. it has been a busy week in Ghana here. President is still on his business and naming of appointees. In fact, he will be starting his thank you tour this week, starting from the Volta region. You know, that's what has been the norm after they have been elected. They always go around to thank the good people of Ghana, those who voted for them and those who did not vote for them. So it has been a busy weekend. This is what is trending here. Let me start from Parliament. I think I've sent you the statement. The leadership has changed from the majority caucus side because of some of the leadership has been taking the ministerial position. So the leadership of minority caucus has to change. In fact, Dr. Kilsato Forson has been named, or he has been appointed as a finance minister. So his position has been taken from Mama Ayarega, that's the Boku Central MP. Now he is the majority leader, and other some of the leadership. In fact, Kofi Adam has taken a position. Mutaka has also taken a position. Your very good friend Mutaka. Another leadership of NDC has taken in fact, ministerial appointment. So this has called for the change of leadership of the majority side. So they issue a statement regarding to the change. And I hope, if you don't mind, I can try and go about the statement.
Okay, give us a summary of the statement. I have it in front of me, but you go ahead with it.
Okay. As I said earlier on, Mahama Yariga, the MP for Boku Central, is now the majority leader.
Yeah.
So when you go to Parliament, now he is the majority leader. I'm trying to, in fact, get my statement, and so I can.
Do you want me to read through the appointment?
I'm okay now. So the majority leader now is Mahama Ayaga, as I said earlier on, the Boko Central MP. The deputy majority leader is George Kukureket Hagan, Cape Coast South MP, and I know that he has been in the house for years now, and with his experience, I think he can partner with Mahama Ayaga when it comes to the business of the house. So I think that's why the NDC was able to nominate him as a deputy majority leader. In fact, this statement was signed by the general secretary of the party. That's Fifi Kwete. This is the statement, or this some of the names. Majority chief whip is Roxon. You know, Damia Fiakpo. You know, sir, he's also one of the gurus at the house when it comes
very outspoken as well.
when it comes to the NDC side, he's one of a very hardcore MP. So I think that's why the leadership of the National Democratic Congress decided to at least
make him the chief whip.
The majority the chief whip. When it comes to the first majority chief whip, this time around they nominated the appointment goes for Comfort Kujo. That's the MP for Ada.
Right.
He is now the first deputy majority chief whip. The second deputy majority chief whip is Richard Champon, Bia East MP. So these are the changes that NDC decided due to some of the ministerial appointee or the appointment of this some of the MP. In fact, you know, the constitution always says that the appointment has to always go to these MPs. That's the 2/3 of the ministerial appointment always has to be the MPs. That's why this change has. But let me also from the parliament, let's go straight to Obuasi. You know, from last week, Obuasi Township has been so busy, not busy in the business way, but at least some disturbances. That's how I put it. Small disturbances from last week went between some small scale miners, as we always used to call them, the Galamseys and the military, were not in the good terms, leading to some shooting incidents and other stuff. On the Tuesday, there was so many peaceful negotiations. How these bodies, those who died as a result of this incident, should be released. Some of the bodies, in fact, it was 9 who died out of this incident. But the Tuesday, it's only 7 bodies were released, and 6 of them had a funeral service in front of Obuasi government hospital. In fact, one of the bodies were taken home because it was believed to believe that the person is a chief, and you know the tradition has to be different from what these other people were. So there was 6 of them was to give a national funeral service for them. So now it's only it is remaining only 2 in the mob. But people were not. There was a little bit fear because they think the youth will just come up and disturb or cause a little confusion. But in fact, the whole process was peaceful. The youth were in any capacity where they did comport themselves throughout the process. So now I would say there's the Obuasi is peaceful. You know, Obuasi has been divided into 2. We have the Obuasi West municipality and then the East. So the East is where the incident basically happened. But
okay, Godfrey, let me interject with Ademu's take on this particular Obuasi incident, and then we can look at the other ones. Ademu, I know you are a professional teacher and you've served in the Ashanti region. Your take on briefly on the Obuasi issue or incident.
This is quite unfortunate. I cannot fathom why at this day and age things like this happened. And I don't know who detailed the military to handle the situation in this manner. It is not a good practice when we have citizens of country being annihilated, being killed like this, and we take it as normal. It is never normal. It is never good in any civilized institution. They were there unarmed or armed, but they're not professionals to handle this military or to do anything with them. You can disarm them, but not killing them like animals like this. I happened to have the pictures a couple of days ago and I couldn't even watch them. It is so unfortunate. Ghana used to be a very peaceful country whereby to take a life was very, very, very serious. You can imagine 9 young, productive citizens being taken away like this. The government should ensure that there should be a proper investigation, proper inquiry to find out the root cause of this problem. Who detailed them, who commanded them to open fire, and why that happened. By the way, why is the military guarding the gold mining company? Why? Why
Yes.
are they there?
Ademu, I'm interjecting. That is a very, very good question. And the rule of law doesn't work in Ghana, which is sad. And I think the previous regime, under the NPP government, with the president as an astute lawyer, I thought probably the zero tolerance of the rule of law would have come into force. This incident wouldn't have happened because the military will be dealing with their defensive and taking care of Ghana's defenses and probably being sent to the farms to help in production of some of our agro issues. And then the security agencies in Ghana, in terms of this civil security, people could have taken care of this issue if the rule of law was working well. There is no even need for the policing because if we have a good private security system and they are equipped with these phones and walkie-talkie and the latest gadgets with CCTVs, because if you look at the amount of money Ashanti Gold makes, the gold they take from the country, they will say, look, we have a deal with your government, and so we are just there, we pay our dues, and so we are extracting the gold. So I think the security system where we can have faith in the private security industry, have faith in the policing, that should be the immediate contact from the, if there were private securities, services being applied in not just Ashanti Gold, but most of the country. If we are well organized, this incident would have been prevented. But it seems that the country, when it comes to the rule of law has broken down. They only allow the law to work when it suits them. And I'm just hoping that we as citizens and some of us who are very enlightened can bring to the fore and challenge the system. Voice of London Radio, ABA Television, and other media platforms and channels, we can forge ahead and be able to help the country, grow in terms of and aspire for excellence when it comes to the rule of law. And we're talking about zero tolerance of the rule of law. We need to look at this properly because if we are not careful, this incident might happen again. Look, it's been happening during the previous regime because that's the latest. I'm just recalling the West, is it a Wogon issue? Then we had an issue during the elections at other places and all that. And I think we need to.
You see, Nana, Nana, I think the Ministry of Interior should set up, and then this should be used as an example to reset or put things right in the country. They shouldn't let this go.
Yeah. Okay, Godfrey. What do you think? Let me go to Godfrey and see. Godfrey, so far with your rule of law, especially in Ghana and the rest of Africa, even in South Africa, we saw galamseys and miners, going on rampage sometimes. What's your take, and how do we get a holistic solution to resolve these things?
I was a little bit. To me, I'm not worried because this is not the first time this military personnel has been there years because they are
I think
No,
Godfrey's network is playing up as usual. Hey, Adamu, come in.
I disagree with him by saying he's not worried. You see, we don't value lives back home. To kill one person, a state must be worried. Tomorrow it might be Godfrey when he goes on a reporting assignment. He could be also killed. And some journalists will say, I'm not worried because journalists have been brutalized in the country. Ahmed Swala was killed. They were not worried because they did not pursue the government to find the perpetrators of that heinous crime. So the word I'm not worried shouldn't be heard from any of their mouth in the country. What we must do is, why is this thing happening? Why is it that we haven't had a solution to it? And why is it that the youth are breaching the gas of the mining companies? You see, so
Yes.
these are some of the things.
I'm not cutting you, but I'm interjecting. I totally agree with you from the angle of. It seems that Godfrey made that statement or remarks from it's become a norm with so much killings. I think Ghanaians are becoming useful with killing, and that needs to stop. And also, you were raising a point with regards to these encroachers trespassing, which is itself illegal. So it boils down to the rule of law, and we need to find holistic ways of mending it. Okay, Adamu, let's move from the Obwa City. I'm sure there's a lot of lessons we can learn from it. And those of us abroad in the diaspora can also add our weight. Godfrey,
sorry. So Nana, if I'm just giving you a small insight about why this military personnel guiding Anglo Ashanti concession. If I'm not mistaken, these people have been there not this year, not 4 years ago, not 8 years ago. They have been there since Mampein Kufuor's era, and the reason why they are using this military, because they believe when using the police and other staff, they are easily to compromise. So that's why they are using the military. The military,
I'm interjecting, Godfrey. So it means that the whole system needs overhauling. Seriously.
Yeah, that's why we are all speaking against it, because as I told you the other time, this is not the first time I'm just doing a story from that area. Anytime these people will go there, they just arrest, then they punish them. But we were surprised that this time around, this thing happened because of according to the statement by the military, that these people were shooting at them.
Yeah, Godfrey.
That shouldn't be the way to fend people off private properties. You see, when you live in a civilized society, the note itself around the fences of private property keeps you away from entering the property. It tells you that this is a private property. Only enter when you are authorized.
Yeah,
because you know the consequences of what awaits you when you get in there. And we should not make it a norm to allow citizens killing another citizen. That's why I'm asking for this government to ensure that there should be a proper inquiry, and those who committed this, who perpetrated this heinous crime, should be brought to book. The uniform they are wearing, it is you, Godfrey, and me. We are paying for the uniform they are wearing. We ask them to protect us, not to kill us. You see, so we must set a precedent whereby if the state mandates you to carry out a work, you don't abuse the power vested in you.
Yeah, Adamu, your point is well noted, and I still think it boils down to the breakdown of the rule of law. Because if And even the military shouldn't even be there if the rule of law is working well.
I understand, Nana, you are right. But
So
it is gone. It is gone already. The rule of law is gone. The person that said he's coming to govern with rule of law came to destroy the rule of law. President Kufuor came to destroy every fiber of the Ghanaian society. And unfortunately, the law professor, Professor Fifi Mills, couldn't arrest the situation. He made it worse. So we are inheriting bad situation and we don't want it to get to worse position. So now that the NDC administration has come, we all Ghanaians, well meaning Ghanaians, should advise the government to do the right thing. Otherwise, it will go from bad to worse.
yeah,
This is the welcome note of the NDC to test the NDC that indeed are you democratic? Indeed, are you there for the entire citizens? Or you are there for the elite and the multinational corporations that are abusing, that are milking our country dry? That's why I'm calling for an immediate inquiry. And those soldiers should be immediately interdicted or arrested.
yeah. And then
Await this inquiry.
I think the government has got an inquiry team already, isn't it? There's an investigation going on. Godfrey, is it not the case?
Yeah. President has said he has called on the IGP to in fact, put an investigation team to.
Godfrey, we can't hear you properly. Can you lift up your voice a bit?
What I'm saying that there's already president has ordered an immediate investigation into the incident.
Okay.
So
yes, the immediate investigation starts with the arrests of those in chain of command. In the first place, they should arrest them and then start with the investigation. Otherwise, they can tamper with the investigation process.
Yeah, so let's see how this, pans out, and then we take it from there. Now, let's quickly look at one and two more issues, and then we can continue later on as we've actually spent my time. Let's go straight to Godfrey. The president has actually appointed Bevlo Latte, who is an experienced security expert, and to head the Sahel issue so that, the West African thing can be together, united. That's the key word. What do you make out of it?
As you said, Babulate is not somehow it's not small picking when it comes to security issues. So I think President has worked with him before. This is not the first time President Mahama is working with him. He has worked with him 2012 to 2016 area there. So I think the man deserves it, and he can. We all pray that he can do the job, because that's what President Mahama is wishing. That's why he decided to, or he has decided to nominate only 60 ministerial appointments. So Nana Veblolate is one of the core guys that President Mahama believed his work. So I think he can do the job.
As a reporter and a producer, an expert when it comes to the media fraternity, Godfrey, before I come to you, Ademu, Godfrey, what are people saying about this position of the newly elected president as to the former Akufo-Addo?
People are still believed that President Mahama can work more effective, efficient than President Akufo-Addo. And those people, you see, when you come here, whoever is speaking, sometimes you have to be very careful and know the tone language, because when you meet the MPP, they will say, oh, the same concern, Corona, nothing has changed. Is the same old Mahama, nothing has changed. And people are the NDC are also saying that President Akufo-Addo administration is the worst ever this country has ever seen. But the MPP are also defending that. So people are still have the belief in President Mahama to at least
but the two presidents, Godfrey, the two presidents had a position where Akufo-Addo wasn't for the coup or military takeover in the Sahel, and whilst Mahama, and so they Akufo-Addo and the Nigerian Tinubu tried to, even intervene with a military and to expel them, with a threat of expelling them. Now, the position of this new president is to get them involved in the West African affairs and for the African youth instead of, and the president even invited Captain Ibrahim Traore to Ghana during his inauguration. He had the loudest applause. So this must be this should signify something. Adamu, can you take it from there?
Yes. The question is, what is the concern of President Mahama to appoint an emissary to intervene or to liaise between the Sahel and then West Africa Economic Committee? What is the concern of Mahama? Is that security? Is that economics? Or is that regional cohesion? We should take it that Mahama wants a regional cohesion, whereby the northern part of Ghana borders with Burkina Faso. So Burkina Faso and Ghana should belong to one community, whereby we can have simple trade agreement. Burkina Faso is landlocked. They will take their shipment, consignment, and everything from Ghana. We will earn some money from Burkina Faso. We can trade and do things in common. And when it comes to security, Burkina Faso...
Mentioning that, could you also add the Ghana major electricity supplier, the Akosombo Dam? The water also comes. Volta River.
Yeah, the White Volta, the Volta River, the water comes from Burkina Faso.
They could stop it,
The worry is when we had a president who was a neo-colonialist, imperialist imposed on Ghana. When the Burkina Faso military intervention happened, he quickly ran to the United States of America seeking for help because Ibrahim Traore is working hand in hand with Russia to do what? To expel the French terrorists in Burkina Faso. Today we heard in Nigeria that Boko Haram has struck, they've struck the core of a state in Nigeria. We all know where it comes from. So Mahama has taken a step in the right direction, wanting to bring all these three players. Now they are getting very well. They are doing very well. If you read more, you see how Niger, Mali are doing with their mining sector. Now the Australians, the Canadians, and the big mining companies are finding it difficult to negotiate with them. They've shown that those parts of the world belongs to them. And if anything at all, they should be the higher beneficiary of whatever is getting out of their country. So now, what we need to ask Mahama is, after this fruitful discussion or conversation or whatever he wants to do, what is his plan for those regions and Ghana? And what measures is he going to put in place so Ghana would have proper trade agreements? That should be win-win for the country, just like what the young man Ibrahim has done for Burkina Faso. And that 4 years, that young man is transforming.
Yes, that's great.
It's transforming Burkina Faso.
This is great input, and we are so grateful for your indulgence for this particular show. This is in conversation with Nana Osagyefo, which we do every day. Yes. So to keep up with the latest when it comes to breaking news and of course trending issues. I would like to say thank you so much, Ademu, my colleague and my partner in progress. Not my partner in crime, my partner in progress. We go back a long way. Service to the people, yes, which is great, and it's nice to see you. And so, once again, you are watching Abltv. I've been with Godfrey. I think we lost Godfrey. I think Godfrey's come back. Godfrey, can you please round up for us?
Okay, Dana. As I said, today the finance minister called his other staff to help so they can rebuild Ghana economy. This week, President just made them to sworn in and so they can take the office. So he has just called other workers, the Ministry of Finance, to come together so they can, as I said, restructure or rebuild Ghana economy. President, as I said, this week start his thank you tour across all the 16 regions. And the Electoral Commission has also opened nomination for Council of State members. I don't know whether or not you will come in for that position.
Godfrey, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the recommendation.
If you are ready
Council of State.
to hold that position, in fact, the nominee is open. Then whoever is willing, I don't know whether my senior brother will also come in. And
Adams, yes.
I'll be deselected in few days. I'll be deselected in few days when I become a member of Council of State.
Why would you be deselected? Are you going to be like the Ibrahim of Ghana?
There's going to be a massive disagreement in the House when it comes to debate because we are not going to allow them to have things easy as they want to. We want the future of Ghana to be bright. We're not going to join the status quo.
Right. Okay. So, Ademo, kindly also round up. Godfrey, I'll just round up for us briefly.
What I would say is Ghana we have only one Ghana, a beloved country. We should serve with humility and honesty because from all what I'm seeing is after 1992 till now, the Ghana we know is gone into the reverse gear. We're going back. Before I came on the show, I was with somebody from Cape Verde. If you go to Cape Verde, they have nothing. Their resources are compared to Ghana, it's nothing. But Cape Verde, the way the country has been structured, even Burundi, if you go to Burundi, the way they've structured their country, you know that everything is being formalized. What's wrong with us? We are going backward. So we want a progressive thinking people to govern. We want a progressive nation, which will build a future for the country.
Thank you so much,
Ademu. Invest in education.
All right. Thank you, Ademu, and thank you, Godfrey. Once again, it's ABL Television, myself, Nana Osagifo, and we are so grateful for joining us and indulging in the programs.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
thank you.
It is well with my soul when pressures of life come and it seems I'm in deep trouble. When triumphs like sea billows roll, whatever, my Lord, you have taught me to say, Well, it is well